and welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How you doing out there? Good? Hope you're having a good day. All is good. We are financial advisors here at Jazz Wealth, and we talk about the stock market. We'd like to keep you updated on how things are going, of course, because other advisors can't do that or just choose not to do it. Maybe they don't know what's going on. But we like to follow that stuff. And we like to teach along the way as well, so hopefully you learn something here today. Tomorrow we got the Fed announcement coming out. It is all but locked in. There's going to be a quarter-point rate hike tomorrow. We are now 99% positive that that's going to happen. Those are not my odds, by the way. That is actually from the FedWatch tool there that you can look up if you would like to see that. Let's just dive into it, man. Let's get on over here to the Dow. Typical, like, pre-Fed summer day, right? Anything that was moving was due to earnings. I'll cover that in a second. First, we got to take a look at the Dow. That squeezed out, technically the index squeezed out another gain. So that's going to be 12. However, it was right there. Depending on how you track it, you may find that you see a negative number, but the actual index ended the day with a gain. That's 12 days in a row. I mean, it's what you got. I mean, just nonstop up, up, and up. There's not much else to talk about with other areas here because it's earnings season, of course, and this is a very, very busy week for earnings. And then we have the Fed announcement tomorrow, and then, of course, we have all kinds of economic news coming out later in the week. If you look at the S&P here today, the performance was driven purely by earnings. Remember, about half of the entire weight or market cap of the S&P is reporting. That is over 150 names that are reporting. Remember, so someone's going to say that. They're going to say, well, that's not 50% of the S&P 500. Those 150 stocks make up 50% of the total weight market cap of the S&P. All in all, there's 800 stocks that will be reporting earnings this week, so you've got a whole lot of things to focus on. We're going to breeze through them here and try to get through at least some of the obvious ones for you, and some that I've seen you guys mention here as well. Interestingly, in the S&P, 70% of the outperformers, those that had good days today, they either reported earnings last night after the close or this morning before the open. And the stat is actually the same on the downside. So about 70% of all of the underperformers, those that had a really bad day today, well, those had earnings last night or first thing this morning. So it's the same. So basically, that's an easy way to see, okay, the market was going to do a whole lot of nothing today, but we had some earnings in there, and that's what drove things. Let's dive through some of them here real quick, do things a little bit differently. Sherwin-Williams had strong sales numbers. They had a really strong quarter there. That's people saying, I'm going to stay in my home, and I'm just going to fix it up. I'm going to paint it. You know, I've been meaning to paint it. I was going to sell the house, but I can't go anywhere, 7% rates and these high prices. So I'll just go to Sherwin-Williams, buy some paint, or hire a guy that goes to Sherwin-Williams, buy some paint, because I'm going to stay here. I should also point out, let's go this way here. I'm also going to point out, if we go to materials, you can look at this in the dojo if you want to join, jazzwealth.com/research. We're going to sort by day. And I want to point something out. If we were to just click on the top contributor here today, there's Sherwin-Williams with 3% gain, but click on the top contributor. And what happens is we highlight all the other stocks in that industry. So you could tell as a group were they higher, or was it just one stock that did well inside that industry? You see all of the highlights above the line there? So it really was kind of that specialty chemicals performance today. If you look inside of materials, if we go over to Sherwin-Williams, you're going to find that now that it just includes that as well. It is also in that category. So that really kind of helped things out today. And for the large portion of what happened is because of Sherwin-Williams there. It also made the materials sector the best performer today, right? Did it finish that way? It sure did. Materials were up 1.8% today. And that would be over the last 5 days. It's also gained 1.8%. That is not a typo there. So that is why. Just kind of a brief way to run through that and show you what's going on there. We'll go over to the airlines, try to have a little diversity here for you today. Alaska Airlines earnings was okay. If you were to rate all of their earnings over the last 48 quarters, you'd find that it's okay. It wasn't really like great or anything. The nastiness here for them was in the conference call where they said, or they call it revenue per active seat mile, right? RASM. Yeah. So revenue per available seat mile, I think I said active there. They said, well, that's going to be falling to almost about 10% there, and our overall profit margins will be lower. So the revenue that they make per passenger, per mile that plane flies, believe it or not, that's something that they track. They all do, actually. That was what hurt them there. That's when the stock started falling. Lamb Weston, you like your French fries? That's what they do. French fry supplier here. Beat on earnings. They are a little bit different here. They had less sales, right, overall, but higher prices. They were able to charge more with less product flowing through, and so that was actually pretty good for them, but they predict that that's going to actually continue, and so the worry there is, well, what if your costs start going up? Now you have less sales. That's going to eat into it. You're not worth as high a price as the market has assigned it to you, and that's what happened there. Raytheon. We were just talking about this one. So the coiled up move that we mentioned yesterday, but I believe it only had an expected move of $2, $2.50, something like that. Wakes up today. Earnings was fine. It was an earnings beat. You could actually read through their report. You can read it right on their website. They're one that actually posts the verbiage and stuff there. Everything fine. Second quarter sales, $18.3 billion. Man, that's up 12%. How we doing there? Continuing operations up 2% compared to last year. Oh, man, that included us spending some money on buying some stuff and buying other companies. It's really good. But they said, unrelated to the company's second quarter earnings results, in other words, please don't hurt us for this, but unrelated to all that good news, we found that Pratt & Whitney, we have a rare condition in a powder metal that we use to manufacture certain engine parts, is going to require accelerated fleet inspection. That's a really nice way to say that. Basically, they're letting people know, if you have an A320neo, we need to talk to you, right? They said, as a result, the business anticipates that a significant portion of this particular engine, which powers the A320neo, it's going to require accelerated removals and inspections. You ever take an engine off of a jet? Do you just do that like in a couple hours and it's done? No, you don't do that. And we're suggesting that you do this within the next 9 to 12 months. And we've already contacted some people because there's about 200 of those that we are going to need to really accelerate. We're talking September here before we have some troubles. So that was it. They threw that at the bottom, and that's what caused your Raytheon there. Found that little bit of an engine issue, and I thought it was clever how they did that. So I would do the same thing, to be honest with you. You might also notice in the sectors here, financials, bad performers here today. If we go on over there, it was weak. However, let's go over here. Your data centers and exchanges, right? I'll click on a couple just so we can see them here. MSCI, S&P Global, Moody's, right? They're your performers. Relative strength on a weak day. What does that mean? Is that something to look at? So here's MSCI. Okay, obviously today was, due to them. SPGI. We look over here. Oh, wow, relative strength, right, inside of a weak day. Okay, maybe that's a place to look. Those are ones that you look at and say, don't like playing momentum, but if I'm seeing the momentum and I got nowhere else to go, maybe I need to focus on that type of area there. While we're here, let's take a look. Crude oil continued to be over the 200-day moving average. Remember, that's the first time since last August in just about a year, not quite. Anytime that it's taken that long to get back above the red line there, it has always been positive 1 year later. So that would suggest, if you're a stats-driven person, that pullbacks are buyable there. 26% is the average gain 1 year later, and the energy sector, as I mentioned yesterday, tends to do well also over the next 1 year. It is also always positive with an average gain of 16%. So I thought that was pretty cool. You don't often come across stats like that. The Russell 2000 up 12% year to date, of course, but struggling here at this technical area. Agree or disagree with technical analysis, for the moment we can see that people that are playing in the Russell have decided that that's important to them. I might point out that of the 12% year-to-date gains, about 8% of that has come in just the last 30 days. So a really rapid rebalancing type rally, as we've talked about there, but it is struggling with the that technical area, which you can't see the other spot there. Just fell off the charts there, but that is what you have. We got to keep focusing on earnings here. Let's take a look at General Motors there. Total sales were 5% higher than expected, but the profitability on those sales was lower by 7%. right? So if you read through a lot of this stuff, you can really quickly just get bored. It's like reading tax stuff. I like it. For me, it's fun. But if you read through that, you go, I don't know. Is that good? Is that bad? Whatever. Just break it down to a hot dog stand, right? Really simple. We sold 5% more than we thought. However, our profit per hot dog was down 7%. Is that good news or is that bad news? That could be bad news because maybe it's not now I'm not saying this about General Motors here, but maybe scale, especially with their electric vehicles, maybe scale is not profitable for them at the moment. They've got some things to solve. They want to be able to scale, but for the moment, as they scale, it's costing them more. So we've got to find some efficiencies there. That's all that's really saying if you want to nerd out about it. General Electric had the opposite to say, really. Sales were up 8%. By the way, sales in their renewable division up 24, whatever, a lot of percent. But their profit margins were higher in every segment as well. So scale, right? We're selling more stuff, and as we sell more stuff, our costs didn't go up. We're able to sell and increase our profit margins as well. Oh, you can't see it. That's why you're going to see that type of 52-week high move for them. Moving on, 3M. I only bring this one up because some of you or one of you was in on this or playing it or wanting to play it there. Sales higher by 6% more than expected there. Earnings were up 25%, but and apparently everybody gave them a pass. It's been beaten down because they owed $10.7 billion to somebody as a settlement for a very costly court case, apparently. So that charge was on this earnings report, and basically people are saying, well, that's a known event. If we back that out, how did the company do? That's not indicative of the performance of the company. It's just an unfortunate event that they had to scratch a really large check. So if you back that out, that's where you come to really, really strong earnings report for them. Not too bad. I have a list of like 22 others that we could go through, and I'm not joking. I'll say 20 if we take out 3M and General Electric, but I think that's probably pretty good. If you want to hang out tonight, Jazz After Dark, I'm going to go through 4 things, really in particular, 4 expenses that y'all are slacking on in your retirement planning or really your goals-based planning. We're going to go through 4 expenses. I'm going to show you how to put them in there, how to factor them in there, whether you're using our software or planning with us or anybody else. I want to show you some tips there because after going through enough of these, I can see when someone is either not getting it or really not putting in the effort there and they need a good kick in the bum. So we're going to do that tonight. Also, last night we did news that you may have missed. Some really cool feedback on that one there. And last week we did the exact breakdown, not how to figure out, but the exact breakdown of someone who was asking me, should I buy a house or should I rent? Don't give me the simple answer. I want the exact answer. How did we come up with that? I'm going to share that with you guys tonight if you'd like to participate. All right, I'll take your questions if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll get on out of here. Tomorrow, by the way, you got Alphabet. There's earnings after hours. I just haven't had a chance to look at it. But tomorrow you've got ADP, Boeing, General Dynamics, a little hint today with how that's going to go, huh? Coca-Cola, Otis Elevators, Union Pacific, Chipotle. Who else is in there? Oh, L3. And then after hours, you'll get attention. Chipotle will be one of the focus, of course, but you'll have Meta, O'Reilly Auto Parts, I think will be interesting, and United Rentals. Let's actually take a look at them real quick. United Rentals is a good okay. Logitech reported their earnings, and my Logitech here just decided not to work. Sales down, by the way, for Logitech. Killed it during COVID, but that's all fading away. United Rentals here. Okay, so nice little performer. This is a good indication of, the economic side of manual production. That's a horrible way to say that. I take all of that back. Basically, are people needing to rent scaffolding, rent the scissor lifts and stuff? Are we working on buildings? Are we doing stuff? Or is that just not happening? So we'll see. By the way, I'd like to point out, and I did not do this. Hold the phone. Hold on a second. All right, so for the Fed thing, put this together. I got to share it. Here is an interesting way to look at this. This is the performance of every Fed day going back to the first time that they started doing press conferences, 1994, believe it or not. And so this is a performance of the market. Doesn't look like a whole lot there. What I'm curious is, during the rate hike cycle, has the market found strength into hiking rates, or has it found weakness? Well, you can't really tell by looking at it, so we put a 10 meeting moving average on there. That's the blue line. We're trending weaker. So as they announce rate hikes, as the Fed has been making their decisions, the market has been getting weaker and weaker and weaker into it. So leading up to tomorrow, will we see that the market is positive after the Fed rate decision, or will we see that it's negative? Odds are pointing to the downside, and just for the fact that we're up so many days in a row, like how about a reason to just sell the news, you know? So I wanted to share that with you. I can't believe I forgot to share that. I'm sorry about that. You want to add Tom's adding to Raytheon tomorrow or wait for the 3-day rule. So, of course, you know, obviously that was a big move there. For me, remember, the rule is to go against it, okay? So, I'm sorry, with it. So if we go over here, you have essentially consolidation. I'll give you that. It's the first day of a big move. That's what I mean. You unless you were there today and you saw how extended it was, you wanted to buy it, okay, fine. But when you look at something as the first day of a big move, I just don't like that. I don't like to participate. So wait for that next day. Maybe it settles in a little bit, let people digest the new price. I'm with you on that one. I am with you on that one. Thoughts on Lucid? There we go. So this won't change from the last time we talked about this. I'm just not one to try to guess that this is going to wake up and go higher or find more weakness. When something's going sideways, I move on. I don't even, there's so many other choices out there. I just wouldn't try to guess. If you own it, there's no reason to add more. There's no reason to take any action. You're just sitting there waiting. Yeah. How wary should we be of the current bull run, since summers are supposed to be traditionally quiet? Quiet in the day-to-day sense. So if I've said something different, that might have been me, you know, not being very accurate with my words. But quiet in the sense that each day tends to just be, you know, a snoozer. It can drift higher, it can drift lower. That's what I mean. You're not going to usually wake up and find like, oh, yesterday was up 1%, today down 1%, up 1%, you know, something crazy. That's more what I was talking about there. Saw the merger deal come out there this afternoon. That's pretty cool. We don't have them out here, so obviously that's not something I'm familiar with. But when the process of how that works is, I think, what you're asking there. Not a big deal when you get Warburg Pincus, I think it was, to put in $400 million. If that wasn't there, there's a little bit of a problem there. Asraf, you're taking new clients. Yeah, of course. How much should the one be worth to, okay. I think what you're saying is like, do you have to have a certain net worth or something? Absolutely not. No, we don't play those games here. We're just happy people keep us in mind, to be honest, right? You want to work with us? We want to work with you. We're not like that big company that's going to say, I'll come back when you have 10 million or whatever. No, we're never going to be that way either. All right, last couple questions here. Thoughts on, Tom, want to add to American Express when it hits the 200-day? Yeah, if would be the question there. It would be awesome if you could have a couple weekdays in the market, because financials are already showing you, right? There's already showing you that weakness today when the market was basically healthy. So that would be a good coincidence. Couple day pullback in the market, financials pull back. There you go. You get your 200-day. I have no problem with that. Pandemonium. So essentially you're telling people you don't have a high net worth. Right? No. Come on. Do that to you. All right, I'll wrap it up there. We'll get ready for our Jazz After Dark here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow to do this all over again, and it's Fed Day tomorrow, so we'll see what happens there. You know we'll be watching, participating, and having all the fun little stats for you. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, and we'll see you tonight, right? Adios.